Welcome to Open Mind Industries podcast, The Mind Unleashed. Sit back, relax, and unleash your mind.
Blink. Alright, we're recording.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you're ready, man.
Okay.
Whenever you want to geek out about whatever. Hey guys, so we're here doing episode 50 of the Mind Unleashed. I don't know if the camera can see me or not, I don't really care. So what we're doing is recording episode 50 at Universal at Nickelodeon Studios again. As you see, there's a lot of noise, but I'll edit all that out again. Me and Dakota had an awesome day. Wanted to have him back on the pod. We had a lot of fun day. And we wanted to geek out about our gay obsession with Hellboy, Wolfman, and everything like that, because what we saw is Dakota wanted to go see the War Makeup show here at Universal Orlando because he spotted the Wolfman costume from Van Helsing over in Hollywood. And I do know the guy who plays the character. I can't say who he is for safety reasons. But Dakota, oh my god, I never got to get a photo with this guy. We have to go check this guy out. What the hell? Why? Like, what brought you to this character? Like, you caught me out of the blue.
Oh, I just thought it was interesting. You know, I was doing some research on the history of Universal Studios Hollywood's House of Horrors.
Yeah.
And was looking at all of its past iterations, history of the building. And, so I had no idea they had a Van Helsing maze there.
Yeah, like, when you brought it up, I was like, wait, what brought you down this? Because I was just watching some stuff with Disney. I've been on, like, this thing of like wanting to watch all these YouTube videos and wanting to learn like about Disney and like what sponsorships they lost or gained. Like what you went down that rabbit hole of finding the Van Helsing thing, like finding out the House of Horrors. Was it because of Halloween Horror Nights or?
Well, you know, I actually can't remember the video. There's been quite a few, but I mean, I guess Horror Nights might have had. It's just usually this time of year.
Yeah.
I like to look in. You know, I like Universal Monsters. Anyway, all year round, so I just decided to take a look and see if I could find any cool footage from, because I never got to visit the Universal House of Horrors over there, and so I was just checking out to see if I could find some cool footage of it.
Yeah.
And while I was at it, I was like, oh, let's see all the changes it went through, because it went through a lot of changes.
They did.
And yeah, the Van Helsing overlay for it was actually one of the most drastic, because they ended up changing everything out that was in it.
They did. Like when I first started at Universal, and then I started at Poseidon Fury, moved my way over to Terminator 2 3D, and then I got brought over to War Makeup because I guess they were down some money, and they're like, hey, we can use you over here. That was my first iteration with it, and I didn't see the show all day until like the end of the day, and I was kind of terrified because I'm like kind of a scaredy cat guy. Like I love horror movies, but I'm tired of the jump scares. Like I'm tired of like. And nothing but jump, and it's like, oh come on. They smoothly do it. Let me get, they boost the music up so you get more terrified, and the jump scare doesn't happen, and you're like, and jump scare. Like nothing, like Rob Zombie mentioned it a while back, like he's tired of making them because, and here's a wide shot, and jump scare. Well, when I finally went to go see the show, the women was like, oh, you gotta go see it. Watch the last show, I could not stop laughing. I fell on my side laughing so hard because the show was funny, but it had the iteration of Van Helsing, and I wasn't a big Hugh Jackman fan back then. Obviously, now when Logan and Hugh becoming Wolverine, it happens. But that's when you see Eddie coming out, and what Eddie did, there was two different variations. One, I think you knew, and then later on they had to take it out because the lady got hurt. What they would do for the scare with Eddie, who we saw that today, is they would say, okay, we have a creature controller, you're going to control him, and now take a photo with him. So she would stand by Eddie, and 1, 2, 3, Eddie would come alive and chase her kind of around the thing. But the actor would take her and move her over to the thing so they wouldn't touch her. And they're like, Mark James would come out and go, oh, here's your freaking picture. What happened was a couple years ago, unfortunately, they had to take that away because the lady, got so terrified that she actually fell off the stage and broke her wrist. So Universal said no more with that because they ended up having to pay her medical bills, yada yada. And the actor did try to keep her on stage, but she was like, nope, not happening. And she didn't realize the stage was that deep, so. And the other variation now is they let the guests go off stage, and then the Alex Ross the host of the show will say, hey, and how about here for Eddie? And Eddie will come alive and scare the hell out of the audience. And, that's the show that we see now, unfortunately. But the variation between us and Hollywood was much different. It was more like a house of horrors.
Yeah, over in Hollywood, they didn't really have like a horror makeup show per se.
No.
They had horror walkthrough experiences, and even though they were technically billed as something that the whole family could do, they still were scary. They were like year-round versions of Halloween Horror Nights.
They had Chucky in one area, like coming out of the curtain.
Oh yeah, different. There's been different variations of it. I know the more recent one before it closed was pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
That was actually after Van Helsing, and when the building closed, there was another attraction that ended up going there. I think it was it the Mummy that ended up going there?
Now it did. So. Yeah, they had to redo the whole Tom Cruise thing, which I still got. I like the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie was really good. I mean, the problem, our friend Pernesco said, he finally watched it and he goes, it actually wasn't that bad, but I wouldn't have started with the Mummy. I would have started with, like, Wolfman or Dracula, something older, and then worked our way in. But they didn't, and Universal has now since canceled their Dark Universe, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little biased with the Wolfman, but honestly, I do wish they would have had a more stronger unity when they started it, like, made it clear that they were trying to establish the Dark Universe instead of just rebooting the Mummy in a very new, different way, and then later bringing them into it after the fact.
Yeah,
I feel like they should have.
Johnny Depp was supposed to be the Invisible Man. You're like, oh, this is going to be really fucking good.
Apparently, at one point, I think, last I heard, they were talking to Dwayne Johnson to be the Wolfman, which would have been really cool.
That would have been, well, The Rock's been doing everything. God damn. Like,
but this was years ago, too, so, that's...
I mean, he's been doing everything. Like Rock as Wolfman. Do you smell what the Wolfman is cooking? I have no idea. What?
I think it would have been really cool.
I mean, seeing what he's able to do and his acting skills are actually really good. You're screaming, that's actually the Rocket next to us. People screaming. But getting it all set up for you to go see, the Van Helsing, Eddie, what do they call him now? The Eddie, the creature controller. What was it like to see him finally up close in person and see the suit?
Oh, it was really cool, yeah. Very, very detailed.
Yeah.
Very. Yeah, it was really cool. I was surprised at how well, like, he's very well maintained, you know what I mean?
They got like 4 or 5 suits backstage. And the funny thing is, I was actually in a suit one time. They threw the top on me. Because the guy that you met today, I won't say his name, but he was joking around and they both were like, it'd be funny to see you walk around in the Eddie suit. So I literally put the top half on, put the gloves on, the little paws I had to wear, and seeing me with a crutch trying to get around was kind of funny. It's kind of hard to see out of that, the way you got to look at it, but pretty interesting of like what the suit can actually break. It actually has broken. There's been like parts that are broken off and stuff like that. The hands.
He's very, his claws seem very breakable. They're very...
Well, the gloves that he wears are very ambidextrous because they broke them in like that. They're not supposed to bend like that. They literally, when they make them, they literally were like, oh yeah, like slide the glove on. I actually wore it myself, and I'm like, can you pick it? And the guy that we know can actually grab stuff and pick it up. Like he grabbed the axe, they have a little hatchet, Sometimes when he gets kind of like, oh okay, I'll mess with you. He'll grab the hatchet and he'll like go run around the stage with it. And he's jumped off stage a couple times. Like the way he jumps, I like that performer, the way he does it. Like he'll run up and scare the hell out of it. He had a lady and a guy jump all the way in the third row behind them. They literally scooped up in their seat and jumped over people. I'm like, wow. He said people literally like run away from that show. I love that character. I like what they do with it. And I'm grateful that Universal had like, let's keep it. Let's not take it out yet. Even though we did the other iteration of Mummy, that show.
And I think it was interesting. I'd like to know the story of how they went about, because the Van Helsing exhibit and the horror makeup show, the current iteration, started around the same time. And if you look at the Wolfman and Hugh Jackman's Wolfman character in Van Helsing, it's pretty clear that Eddie was modeled after him. It's the same head shape, same. It's literally him, and they used him in the. He was supposed to be him in the maze they had over in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually really curious if they've had to make repairs, if they have the same if they're using the ones from Hollywood or if they just sent them all here. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times that's what'll happen is like with Terminator. They ended up sending out T-70s from Terminator.
They overlay everything.
Yeah.
They overlay everything, and that's the thing. It's like we gotta save money somewhere. That's why I love like all these old Hollywood props. So you find them. Like, oh, we actually used that somewhere else. Or we used. Oh, another camera got away. eBay.
Oh.
That's like the new GoPro I just got. It is actually from eBay. I got it the other day. I'm sorry, guys. I'm burping a lot of carbs and calories. But they reuse a lot of props, like even for like Star Trek and stuff like that. You look at it and you're like, well, Universal's like notorious for like some of the shows, like you say, a lot of the props being reused, stuff like that. It's hard to get into these props, you know. I'm very curious where all the Hellboy stuff went when they got rid of it. I don't know if they recreated it or what they did with it, or Guillermo got it back, or set the studio, or.
I'd imagine it's probably an archive because I know the latex appliances they were really well preserved still.
Yeah.
I know a few of them have ended up in various places. Some collectors have some of them, so I'm guessing Universal has them like in their archive. Yeah. As for I know some of the other props. They had some pretty cool originals in there. Like the Duster was in there. One of the guns was in there.
Big Baby.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna break up Big Baby. I'm like, what the?
So yeah, I honestly like the props were too nice to just throw away. Like they've got to be an archive.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, especially like the gun, the photos, stuff like that. I know somebody wants a knife. They want the knife from Mummy. But it's like one of my friends was like, I want it.
Is that in there in the case right now?
Yeah, it's in the case. Yeah. He wants it really bad. And I'm like, you can probably, like, do you know anybody who can like sculpt it or remake it? I'm like, I know a few, but it's gonna cost you pretty penny.
Yeah.
So then we sculpt it. I'm not sure. I mean, like, I don't know what the next movie's gonna bring to that venue. I really don't.
Yeah, I know. One thing that was really cool is I'm glad to see that they. Well, I mean, it's part of the lore, but I'm glad to see that from the trailer we got, which the trailer leaked. It's out there.
It is.
The new trailer revealed that they're still using the BPRD and the same logos, same iconography. So, because I actually at one point went in and took pictures of the props we had on display, just getting the leather work and the detail to get the accurate pictures of the BPRD logos and everything for their outfits. And I thought that was really cool. That was a nice surprise in the trailer to see. Oh, cool. Well, it's we're picking things up.
And the trailer we're talking about, guys, is dun dun dun. Hellboy. The new trailer has not officially dropped. It was an unofficial cell phone capture.
Yep.
That I saw myself on the bathroom toilet. I was like sitting down and I went, what the? And I started watching it and I'm like, I think I texted Dakota back and I went, Ron Perlman never left. Never left.
It's a really good trailer. Like, honestly, it was cool because it was split into, so the person that recorded it split into two parts, and I never got to show you part two, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm expecting it to make its debut probably before, around the holiday season, maybe they're going to put it in there just to get hype going. I'm actually really surprised they haven't already put it up since it leaked.
Yeah, now that it's gotten leaked, but everything gets leaked. You can't, nothing ever can stay.
Yeah.
Everybody sneaks for little GoPros here, they sneak their little cameras, cell phones. You're going to see it.
But yeah, David Harbour, really great as Hellboy. From what I've
We actually went around Universal a little bit today after we went to go see our makeup show, and we actually went to go see the shop over in Universal here in Orlando. They have a Halloween shop that we went to go check out. And of course, Dakota, if you want to show, you have your little thing with you? Your little bag?
Oh, I do, yeah.
You can show him your little gift that you got. He couldn't resist. We actually ended up walking past the room again. They have the in-between room when you guys walk into to the store. You'll walk in and you'll see it.
Got other goodies.
We'll talk about this guy in a little second. Do you want to show your claws?
Oh, yeah. I've got a lot of stuff in here.
We got a lot of fun stuff today. It was a really relaxing day. We decided, hey, let's do a podcast of fun stuff.
Finally found this guy, which surprisingly my Target never has him.
Dun, dun, dun.
Stranger Things. Not sure if it's on camera.
Oh, it got it.
But yeah, surprisingly he's been really hard to find for me, so I'm glad I found him here. They've got a lot of Stranger Things stuff at Universal right now.
And the reason why is because they have the Universal actually house of Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. The only bad review I've gotten on the house is too many frickin' Demogorgons. It's like one step, Demogorgon. two-step Demogorgon. You're like, can you fucking stop with all these Demogorgons?
Well, one thing I thought was interesting too is what I really like about our version here in Orlando is I've seen the videos of both. I
Hollywood?
haven't been in person,
It's gross.
but Hollywood's version, so they use a lot of like mannequins and a lot of dummies, and for the main characters. Like 11's a mannequin in the Hollywood version. Our version, she's an actual character.
Yeah,
she's really there in the maze.
We've got
which is
two of
pretty
them,
cool.
yeah.
Mhm.
So one of the girls came walking by the other day behind our thing, and one of my friends goes, "That's 11." And I went, "Oh, is it? Oh, wow, hello."
Yeah, Dustin's the same way. Like literally, he's like he's a statue in the. It's just not. It's static sitting there. In the Hollywood version, he's an actual character here.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to see like Harper and then like seeing that character, like that guy, even the actor, like getting so much goddamn praise now. Like, he kind of wants to show you a little prop that he got. This is what he took a photo with Eddie with. He goes, "Oh, wait a minute, I forgot something." He had his own wolf claws.
Had my own. Yeah. I brought these this morning. I was like, I know I'm forgetting something,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm going to see Eddie today. I probably should bring these.
Yeah, when I was talking to the guy who does the character, hold on, we probably got something we want to do. I don't know what. I didn't know you brought that though. I didn't know you had your own little thing going on today with that. But I'm glad I got to get that off your bucket list.
Yes.
Because that was just shocking. It's like, oh, I've always wanted to meet the character, like meet something, but I could never do it.
Yeah.
Like I got to do it, and then we also won.
Yeah,
Over to
this was
Marvel.
fun.
He did that in one try. Well,
I had, what was it, 7 tries?
Seven
it was
tries.
7 tries for $5, right?
I think that was like the last try.
So yeah, $5, not bad. But yeah, we literally hooked him. He was on so it was one of the machines right outside of the arcade, and they had a bunch of Marvel characters in there. And he was there were 2 of them on the edge, and literally after it was on the 6th try, we got this little part of his gun here hooked on the basket. It was like, literally, it was a one-shot trying to scoop it in, and I got a little nervous because like it overshot it, and it just happened to catch it when it came back up.
I really thought when it got to the first time, I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
coming over, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope.
Yep. So that was cool.
That's why I hate those damn machines. The claw machine, I always feel like they're a fucking gimmick because
Yeah.
it's like they're so slippery on purpose. They oil them up on purpose.
Oh yeah.
So like if it's a good material, it's just gonna slide off. There's nothing you can really do.
Yeah, and I really like the I was talking about like Tereba, the Japanese ones, The funny thing with those is they're still difficult and frustrating, but like I always think it's cool that the object's not just to pick it up with those.
Yeah.
More than often, pretty much 99% of the time, if not the entire time with those, it's about pushing and pushing down. Like you're never supposed to really grab, you're just supposed to scoot and then push it into the grate.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so the way that Tereba machines work is they have they call it a UFO catcher, I think.
Okay.
It's this big quad thing, plastic. I think Sega produces them. And they arrange rods in the machine that they stack the prize on. And so you basically have to take the pieces of the claw and push it until it's there. And sometimes it's easier than, like sometimes if like a plush, you can push it in eventually.
Yeah.
Other times you're stuck flipping a box back and forth. And it's frustrating, but it's also fun. It can be fun if you know what you're looking like. If you find one, you have a good feeling about it.
Yeah.
But there are people who literally will like spend like $100 for like a waffle maker, and it's just like.
Well, I think like what you just said, it's fun doing it. It's fun to like, I did it. It's kind of like with your thing today. I was like, if we don't take one more try at crack at this, like some other kid's gonna grab it in like 2 seconds.
It does feel better when you win it too.
Yeah. I mean, like Rocket, kind of like when he got on the edge, I was like, shit, man, like this is gonna like not work, not go through. It's gonna feel so fucking...
and I felt bad. Like as soon as I saw that too, I was like, oh man, Rocket, I have to try.
Yeah.
Like, it's Rocket, so.
It was wild. I was like, okay.
I was a little unsuccessful earlier in the day. I tried to win a Wolfman, yeah.
Yeah, we ended up doing the frickin' bean toss thing. And Dakota, not very upper arm strength, but even if you have upper arm strength, I mean, you really got to clock that beanbag really hard.
Yeah, my pitching is, my aim is not very good.
Well, even that, even if your aim is like I said, you got to throw it at like 98 miles an hour just to get it to go.
Yeah, it was funny because they had 3 of them, but with the way it was like a jack-o'-lantern that it was covering it. So with the pattern on it, you really could only really hit the middle one. Like unless you were super lucky and got the 2 tiny hidden ones on the side.
I mean, there was no, even with the basketball one I was taking a gander at, and so the ball and the hoop guys, you know, you put like 3 in, and you get a stuffed animal. And I was like doing the dimensions, and I'm like, okay, the balls are really filled up really well, like overly tight, on purpose, so it's going to hit the rim and bounce. Now, if it's under, it's not going to bounce as hard, but they're overinflated, so it's going to have a nice ricochet bounce. And I'm looking at the girl, and I'm like, my thing was true. Like, she threw it and it bounced, and I'm like, that's exactly what's going to happen. Unless you, like, get it, like, right, and boom in, but it's still going to bounce. Because the ball's kind of big, so it's going to make it in the hole, but it's still going to bounce out. So, of course, you're going to take 7 tries to do it. I'm like, something like that. Yeah. I thought about it when you were doing it. I'm like, spend $5.
Yeah. I've never been good at those, like the basketball games.
No.
Even like Chuck E. Cheese, I couldn't.
The last one I did was, I think it was that fun spot here in Orlando. And I ended up like winning. And I kept throwing and throwing and throwing. I finally had like the rhythm, and I was like, the balls weren't coming fast enough for me to beat the rhythm. So I was like I would shoot, and make it in. And then they'd come down and like, hurry up! God damn it, hurry up! Because I gotta go through the plastic thing, and then I gotta go through the back seat. It's like, I'm not gonna win this game. But you gotta get somebody to get the stuffed animal or toy. I won something, I forgot what I won, but it was a pain in the butt. I still did it. I was like, when was that worth $7? I'm like, not really. I didn't feel satisfied. I kind of wish, like, if they knew you're a loser, they should be able to buy the item that you want. Like, hey, you can spend this, maybe to get it for a bit cheaper, or you can spend this, and we can still sell our stock.
Yeah, I know. Like, I totally would have, like, because, like, that's the other funny thing, too, is so Universal, like, they have a lot of Monsters merch, because, you know, the Universal Monsters line has kind of grown a bit. But literally, other than, like, a few small cameos on some shirts, there's no Wolfman. Like, it's funny, you know, because there's a company, Rock Rebel, that makes the products for the Universal Monsters line. And they make wallets and stuff. Like, they've made purses, backpacks, wallets. I'm sure they've made more. But they make some really unique designs and stuff. And it's funny because, like, they sell those wallets here, and they don't sell this model here. I actually had to go to Rock Rebel directly and get this. Like, we should be selling this here.
Yeah,
and they just, yeah.
Well, it's licensing too, you know?
Yeah.
But that is kind of our Wolfman. I mean, it's shown in all the Universal Classic Monsters, so it's like it should be, but...
Well, it's a weird thing because, like, even though he's got, like, they have the Lon Chaney is its own licensing thing, but at the same time, they also show him in the group shot. So it's a confusing thing. It's like, so do they still have to pay the Chaney for the group shots, or?
No idea.
Because they actually, you know, they did a Universal, they did a thing for Horror Nights, I think it was Horror Nights this year, where they had the classic monster. And I was a little surprised because they were darker, grittier takes on the Universal monsters. And for the Wolfman segment, they actually used the design of the poster for the Lon Chaney one, but they redid his face. They made him look a little different. So I'm not sure if that had anything to do with licensing or if that was a creative decision. But
yeah, I have no idea. Like, it's all dependent on like licensing rights, who gets what portion of what. You know, that's why everybody says, oh, like, you know, why'd they take out Bill and Ted? The same thing I was listening to Keanu Reeves like a year ago talk about, hey, Bill and Ted's happening. Right now we're just trying to get all the rights to this person, and that person's going to get it. And then once that was all said and done on a podcast for Nerdist, for Chris Hardwick, a month later, they're like, oh, farewell to this thing. And I'm like, oh, why would Universal take that away? And I'm like, well, it's probably licensing rights. And who's going to get X amount of dollars to what? You know? Yeah, they'll license it out so you can use it, but how much do they want? That's the question. So you could say, all right, you can use for 3 years. We want $300,000. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking money when you think about it. Yeah, for one show. For 3 years, you got to pay $300,000, and they own all the merchandise, right? God damn. So you're able to use it, but you're not able to make any merchandise. They are. So it hurts. It hurts. Like, people don't realize that. They get angry with it. Send a quick text to...
starting to see the Horror Nights crowd show up.
Yeah, everybody's coming in. Sorry, guys. I'm just sending out a quick text to my lady. say, but everybody's starting to come in now and do their thing.
Starting to see T-shirts and badges
Oh
and
yeah,
beer.
people are excited.
Yep. Once you see the beer, it's time for
Well,
more night.
once the beer, and then like I think last Monday or last Sunday, they had a huge fucking photo out front. I don't know if it wasn't Photoshop when I was told. Everybody was like, no, that was real. But they were, for those who have been to Universal Orlando, if you go past the bridge here, they'll have the NBC Bar and Grill. And then the huge Universal logo. If you guys ever type in Universal Orlando, you'll see what we're talking about. The bridge was packed, and the front gates were packed.
Yeah, didn't they have to? I heard the other night, didn't they have to close off?
They did.
Full capacity. Yeah, they reached full capacity. I know they. I saw that it was crazy. They were talking about that elsewhere too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, wait, what the fuck is this? They're like, that's a real photo. I'm like, damn, that's too busy. I'm like, holy. That night they had to make at least by $5 million in alcohol. At least. Sorry guys, we sound like we're winding down because we've been running around all day long, having a blast. We just got, I think, lunch or dinner, whatever we want to call our snack, about maybe like 45 minutes ago.
Dunch.
Dinner. Lunch. And Dakota, he'll help me out with Magical Avatar World too, so I'm heading there this week. Hopefully I'll be able to spot him when I'm there. It'd be good to see him, get a photo with him.
Yeah, that's right. I will actually. Yeah, I'll be working that day.
I would like to see him. Yeah. Spot you. I was like, hi, I'm looking for Mr. Dakota. Who? What do you want? Oh man. But yeah, it was fun. It's been a fun day, especially for you. I got to pick a photo with the Wolverine character, or not the character, they have a little thing outside of Marvel, which I love, and it's my favorite part of Marvel Island. Is that one thing? So I was like, cool. And then we got to see a lot of new stuff that I'm probably going to buy once our holiday thing kicks in. Save some money there. I don't want to spend like $1,000 on things. That's why I bought like a lot of Terminator cups. Like last year, I think I waited till they all went on sale, and I had somebody put them in the corner. And then I went in and I just bought them all for like under next to nothing. I was like, I want this and this and this. They're like, all right, your bill's like now $100. I'm like, fine, that's good. I have everything I ever wanted.
Well, I think it was really funny actually. I feel like everybody had the same idea when the Sochi Olympics were happening, and so over at NBC they have they participate actively in the Olympics whenever they're happening. They'll show them on the screens. You can get exclusive merchandise, which is pretty cool. Universal Studios stuff featuring Olympic icons, and so they had some cups from Sochi and things like that. Literally, as soon as they left the NBC area and went backstage, they vanished just like that. Like, I got a mug. I think everybody had that same idea. They're like, as soon as it goes on sale. Yep.
That's the thing, is everybody looks at it and they go, okay, I can save money here. But they wait for, like, that sale to happen.
Well, I mean, I would. That's what I'm waiting for now, because, like, if you think about it, I still got to get some Shrek merchandise for, like, my nephews, and one of my nephews is a huge Shrek fan. And I did the math, I was like, if I don't wait till this holiday season, man, I'm going to be spending $70, $80 for right now, just on a few items.
Now, the only exception I make is with shirts, because I'm a tough size to find, so I will get shirts when they're new, you know?
Yeah.
Because usually they're usually either 3Xs or extra small when they end up in our shop, or the backstage shop.
That's what's me, man. Every shirt I want to get, it's like, oh, double XL. I'm like, I can't fit in that.
Yeah.
I'm a small or medium. I can't. I mean, at work, I'm a 14 regular. See guys walking in like 15, 16, 32X shirts, and I'm like, I'm not that big.
Yeah.
I'm not that huge, guys. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Horror Nights has to be good. You can do all the streaming and fun stuff. That's actually the roller coaster depot. I'm having a blast on it. Not my favorite ride in the park. My favorite ride is actually Mummy. And we got to ride Men in Black today, and we got the agent suits out.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That
I
was
was like,
pretty
wait, we got what? Oh, shit!
Yeah, that was fun. Cause
And there was only two of us in the car.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I don't, which that probably explains it better average. Because at Men in Black, it averages your score. So when the other, if someone else isn't playing, it doesn't count them. So if you have two people who are really good at the game in your car, it'll give you a better average overall.
Technically, I was playing as two people because I had the other gun too. That was kind of like this, and I had, and I shot the guy's tailpipe a couple times too. So while you were shooting, I was like, hit the tailpipe. I'm like, no, I know where to aim.
Yeah, I wasn't having a good day with the Fusion exhaust port. I kept missing it today.
I got it. I think I got it like once or twice, and I'm like, okay, cool. I spun them. I got it. Awesome. And then like, I hit the red button on both of ours. Like, I was like, brink, and I hit them both, brink, and both got it. I was telling you to hit it. Let's see if we can hit it at the same time.
Yeah, I was out of sync.
All three of us could have it. But it was like, what, 250,000?
Yeah.
And we got it, so I was like...
Pretty high. Usually whenever I would ride it when I was here, cosmically average is what we'd get. And of course, every once in a while you get bug bait. But
yeah.
like, cosmically average was the one. I hardly ever got Galaxy Defender in our car. You know?
Yeah.
So, cool.
It's been a good day.
Fun fact: if you don't care about getting a good score and winning the game, do nothing. On Men in Black, you get to hear Agent J yell at you. It's really funny.
Yeah, he gets really angry.
Yeah, it's really funny. He's like on the intercom in the car, and he's like, "What? Do you guys know what ride you're on?"
Do you know what thing you're doing? I literally, when I used to do ride-throughs at the ride in the morning, I would just start doing nothing.
Yep.
I would spin a little bit. I'm like, woo.
Also, the Neuralizer video is funnier when you don't do anything. There's a few of them, because Will Smith recorded a bunch of random videos, and depending on your score, you get one of a certain amount. And so, like, if you don't do anything, he's got really funny ones that will show up at the end.
It's like, wow. That is, it's like, I play with it. It's one of my second favorite rides. Besides Bumby. I don't know why I love Bumby so much. I guess it's just the fire and just being a good ride. It's like Space Mountain, but just crazier.
Yeah, it's a tough question. If we're talking like favorite rides, like in general, or favorite rides per park. That's actually really hard of a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking Universal favorite rides.
You can go classics.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, it's not around anymore. I love Nicktoon Blast when it was here. Terminator, even though it's not technically a ride, is still my favorite attraction Universal's ever done. Yeah. E.T.'s pretty cool though.
Yeah, I like
it's a really good ride. It's a classic ride.
It's a
still
classic
really
that they keep forgetting to go on.
Yeah, and it's still one of the most detailed attractions Universal's ever done. I mean, try looking for a wall in E.T. It's covered. All of it's covered.
Yeah, you're not going to find anything. Yeah, everything is
well immersed.
I actually, I was telling Dakota, one day I actually went to one of the side doors and actually took a nap back there inside the ride area. I won't say where, because I don't want to get in trouble, but yeah. I wasn't in anybody's safety way, but I was able to hide behind something and kind of sit down, and I kind of knocked out for a little bit. Took about a 20-minute nap, walked back in, and went to work. I wasn't in any safety zone. I was just watching the ride. It was like, wait, where'd you hide? I'm like, I'm not telling you.
I mean, if we're talking like favorite rides of all time, in terms of just like all factors, see, even then it's kind of hard because like there's certain rides that are just impressive. Like I technically can't really vote for Avatar because I work there, so it's biased. But
no, you can.
But talking in general, I'd say right now it's a hard tie between Splash Mountain and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Love Pirates of the Caribbean.
I love the theming. I really want to go to Disneyland because they say it's a billion times better.
Oh god, it's like my dream goal. Like by 34, I want to go to Disney.
Yes, and I still have to. I have to go to Disneyland now because of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a requirement. I have to do it.
Yeah.
It's no exception.
I mean, you already know what it looks like. We already know what the ride looks like and shit like that. And everybody.
Yeah.
One of our people, they went, they're like, oh yeah, it was great, but they said to get like a special pass, I guess now. It's like a Disney, if you pay like $10 extra, you get a pass. I'm like, but I have friends that work there, so I'm like, I might be able to sneak in or exchange our tickets or whatever.
Yeah, and I'd really like to go during the Halloween season because they have that overlay. So during the morning hours or mid-afternoon, you can ride Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, and then after a certain time, it switches over to Monsters After Dark. Which is cool because, and I kind of wish they would do this year-round because it's a sequel to the ride. So in the ride, you're basically helping Rocket break out the Guardians of the Galaxy from the Collector's Fortress. In Monsters After Dark, Rocket went back because he left Groot. Expo, you have to try and save Groot from the Collector's Fortress and all the monsters that have gotten out. It's a really cool concept, and it's really fun too if you do both, because then when you're at Monsters After Dark, the lobby is all messed up, the videos are broken. It's really cool looking.
I have to go see this now. I gotta save some money. I know it's like an expensive trip. Everybody's like, it's not that expensive. I'm like, oh, the hell it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to try and just get out there for a day and try and.
I want to spend at least 2 days at Disneyland and then 2 days at Universal. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds like an overkill for those who've already done it, but it's like, if I haven't done it, I don't want to rush and be like, all right, well, I didn't get to do this or I didn't get to do that. Kind of get done with it and be like, all right, I'm good. I've experienced what I don't care about the Hollywood side. I don't care about, In-N-Out Burger. I don't, it's just things I've done that. I've been there. It's like, Hollywood's kind of like this. It's like in Orlando. It's the same thing as Orlando. You drive down the road, you already know what the fuck it looks like. It's like, bum, guy in the corner. You're like, yeah, I already know.
Yeah, like I've been to California before. I've seen the Hollywood sign. I've done the things that, you think, oh, California, cool. At least the stuff I really want to do. The only place I have not gotten to go to is the theater, not the Chinese theater, the El Capitan. Disney's theater. I would really like to go because they do some really cool stuff. Like right now, they have a Hocus Pocus thing set up that's pretty cool. They have the studio store with Ghirardelli. That's really neat. They get like the coolest pins ever. Like Disney Studio Store, they have exclusive pins that are really cool.
Which I kind of wanted to do before. It's like, why would I want to? It's like, well, to do pirate, like just seeing all these videos. I've been like on this fucking binge of, just wanted to like know how yesteryear, like how things were done, and who sponsors it. Why did companies pull out of My mom got to go to Orlando here years ago, back in 1991, and she videotaped everything, and it was like, oh, all these rides look really cool, but me and my brother were never able to do it, So like all these rides are gone, and all these buildings that were at Disney, like even the one I was like, oh, what's that? I think it was like the Body Wars. That one. There was another one my mom was doing, like the space. You go into the space thing, and I'm like, oh, all these. And then when I finally got to all these videos, I was like, oh, I pass these buildings every day. I would never fucking know. Because like when you're doing Food and Wine, you're like walking inside Body Wars without even knowing it was Body Wars.
Yeah, and I've seen video of the queue and everything. It's pretty weird back there right now. Like,
yeah, like someone snuck back there.
Someone snuck back there, yeah. So it's.
I wouldn't.
I technically, I don't want to like promote it or anything, but it's out there.
Yeah, don't even think about, like, even here, don't even think about going backstage.
Yeah, don't go back. Never go backstage.
No.
Never, ever.
There was a guy who got caught recently, and he's been literally, he's banned from.
They banned, yes, I know who you're talking about.
Not only who they banned him, but they also arrested him. So he wasn't like.
Do not ever.
It wasn't like a rent-a-cop grabbing him. It was an actual undercover cop bringing him out and arresting him. So
yeah.
He not only did he get banned for life, he got trespassing charges. Were not cheap.
Yeah, no. Not only is it wrong, illegal, and it's disrespectful for one thing, but it's dangerous.
Yeah.
There's a lot of areas back here, like this area we're by right here. It's dangerous back there.
You can go underneath it, but then he's telling you, like, sometimes they have to stop the ride. They're like, don't go underneath the tracks. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Because there's some rides that we walk in and we tell guests don't follow us because there's certain things like ride tracks and pumps and hydraulics that we're like walking past. How the hell we're getting past it, we have no idea.
Yeah, whenever you're at the parks, we have everything set up so you can be perfectly safe, have the best time ever. Just please follow the signs.
Yeah.
That's all we ask.
Don't be an idiot.
You'll be cool. You'll have a great time. You'll be safe. Just please do.
I like the one guy, like he literally shows him climbing over the rope at Disney, like going up to the second level. I mean, it's a little rope, and he went up there and it was supposed to be like a lounge area for like, I think this now is the vacation club or whatever it is, and I'm like, wow. I was like, having the balls to even like show himself doing that. I would have edited all that out. I would have been like, nope.
Yeah, there's I've seen all sorts of videos that made their way out. And
it could be an employee. We're not going to be able to do it. They just get the copy of the video and they're like, oh, we don't know who did. However, for the YouTubers that are putting the name to the video, I would stop doing that.
Oh yes, there's one in particular I'm not going to name, but he got banned for.
I would stop promoting people that put the videos for you. Like, I got this, so I wouldn't even say where the hell I got it. I'd be like, I don't know how I got this, but protect their identity and your identity. Because a lot of these videos I keep watching, I'm addicted to the opposite, like learning about all this stuff, and I'm like, since they're sneaking backstage, they're going to places they really shouldn't be, because AKA guys, private property, and private property doesn't. There's no law against it. It's like they make their own laws.
Yeah, and the other thing too is a lot of people don't realize, but we have signs posted for this too. But like Universal Studios is a studio. Like we're giving you permission to take pictures and video, and that's great. You take as many pictures and video you want, but please respect that they are also a working facility, private property. Don't go in places you're not supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. Like somebody was trying to hide. They were trying to go on the Hogwarts Express here.
Yes.
Poor girl went back, got to go backstage for a couple of seconds, and I had to grab her, and I said, "You might want to come back that way." And there were like two cops, and there was a security guy, and they were ready to grab her, and I'm like, "No, I got her. I brought her back. I'm like, "You don't want to poke your head back here. Trust me." I'm like, it's ugly, it's nasty as hell, and C, you don't want to go to jail tonight and pay fines for being somewhere you're not sure. Well, yours can tell me to knock it out. I said, no, they're not. They can literally tell you anything they want to get you off the property.
Yeah.
It's their property, so. But yeah, it's cool seeing all like people that do that. I mean, hats off to them, but I'm not condoning it anyway. Don't do it. Definitely don't do it. But seeing the videos on what these buildings used to be, it's kind of crazy seeing how many, especially at Epcot, how many buildings were abandoned, left to rot. Water parks, etc.
Yeah, I mean, if you absolutely feel like you must, look and see what you can find from previous attractions, there's a lot of stuff out in the open that in guest areas. Always ask too.
Yeah,
sometimes they have.
Sometimes the employees are able to take you back in some areas you're not supposed to go. I'm not going to say that for every ride. There's some venues that are like, hey, we can actually take you back a little bit far. And sometimes the employees are cool, like me and Dakota. Like, we'll chat with you about all the hidden secrets. Like, there's no secret about it. You can find it online. We might know a little bit more that you don't know. And if we have time, we can actually take you back and show you things that aren't public eye, but we can actually give you a guided tour through it safely.
Yeah, and it never hurts to ask.
No,
there's a lot of attractions do have special
guided
things they'll
tours,
do. Yeah, tours and stuff. If you just ask, they won't take you anywhere you're not supposed to be going.
Yeah.
They'll just take you. They'll show you some pretty cool stuff. And not every attraction has them, but when they do have them, that's the best way to get
one day I was
a
dying.
nice other view of things.
Yeah, I was dying to see how Tower of Terror got run. I wasn't able to go during the daytime, but at night they set up a private meeting for me with the managers, and I was able to actually walk up to the tower, see how it was all controlled, talk to a technician. It was really, really cool talking to them, and it took them like an hour to set it up, but it was really neat to ask questions and geek out about that. So that's the one ride I'm still geeking out about how that ride functions and how many drops it had.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, one thing I will say is working at park attractions and stuff, I'm not desensitized to it. I still get amazed when I go on the rides, the ones I've worked on, I still just, it's just amazing, even when you know how things work, it still, it doesn't get rid of the magic, I guess, you could say. It's still, it's just
like,
that
how the
great.
hell did they do that? How the hell did they fit this in here?
Yeah.
Like some kid asked me, like, what's your favorite ride? And I'm like, oh man, Mummy's my favorite because it used to be the old King Kong building. I said, if you look carefully, and all the lights were on, I said, follow me real quick. So we took him over to the thing, we're like, look here. And the ride stopped, and we're like, look over there. We showed him all the Kongs, and he was like, those were there? I'm like, yeah. I said, you see that beam? Like, underneath the ride, and we're like showing him the stuff. And the employees were all geeking out, showing him things, and the kid was like, this is amazing. How come you don't freak out? I'm like, we do freak out.
Yeah, one of my favorite things at where I work is seeing guests. Working the exit areas. It's my favorite thing ever to see guests get off and just be like, how did that happen? Where'd we go? It's just
I had no idea.
You were here the whole time. It's really cool.
Yeah. I think it's fun just working at theme parks and seeing how it's all. Like I said, when I first came here, back in 2001 after the September 11th thing, it was kind of really weird because I come from a place where Six Flags, and now Six Flags owns a theme, not a theme park, but an amusement park called The Great Escape, and it was really badass, really neat, but it has 2-3 coasters, some really good ones, but nothing like Universal or Disney or SeaWorld or Busch Gardens. And you're like,
yeah,
oh shit.
That's like I was telling you earlier. I was really surprised, and I wish I could have got on that Busch Gardens attraction, Curse of Dark Castle.
Yeah.
There's tons of video on it online, and even Busch Gardens themselves, actually, when they closed the attraction, put up a really high quality ride-through of it. That's 100% official if you want to check it out.
Yeah, well, they've done
it's really
here,
cool.
they put the frickin' 360 cameras on the roller coaster so you can kind of
see
see what it's like. And I'm like, that's pretty cool that Universal started doing that.
Especially, it's a good way to archive attractions too if they're closing. You know?
Yeah, it's like the guest can actually put a VR headset on and actually kind of experience it.
Yeah. I can think of a few attractions that would have benefited greatly from doing a VR.
I mean, you can get, I know, like Back to the Future, but if you get the DVD, there was like the ride motion.
Yeah, there was a guy who on YouTube restored a lot of the ride footage, and I could see someone doing a really cool VR ride through with that.
I know during like one of my buddy's weddings, I guess that's what him and his wife wanted to do. They wanted to do kind of a, they were gonna put like a projector up, and then they were gonna have the ride vehicle, and then like everybody had to sit in their chair and then like pretend like they were moving with it. And I was like, that's kind of crazy. I was like, that would have been a cool wedding. They're like, yeah, we wanted to do a couple sort of things during our wedding. We just wanted to have fun and just do it that way. But their wedding, that was awesome either way. Are there people still on the ride? Jesus Christ. But, yeah. I don't know. We're just kind of vibing on. Yeah, Busch Gardens, you definitely need to do.
Yeah, I haven't been to Florida's Busch Gardens or any other Busch Gardens. I know another place I'd really like to go is, I was actually just looking at, was Great Wolf Lodge. Their resorts.
No.
They just opened one recently in Atlanta. But the kicker is they have an attraction there I used to like, that was at Mall of America, called Magic Quest. It's basically kind of like a proto Harry Potter kind of deal. You have a wand and you go around and you complete tasks, and it's like a big video game, but you know, you're inside and it's got props that you interact with and stuff. It's really cool. The one at Mall of America was set up really nicely, and I'm really curious to see what the ones at Great Wolf Lodge look like, because they've definitely stepped things up from them, because the Mall of America location closed, and then Great Wolf Lodge kind of became the center for Magic Quest. So should be. I'm really interested to see what it looks like.
Never been to Mall of America. Like definitely want to like in another 2 years go over to like put money aside first. But I know Cali. Everybody's like Cali's so cheap, and I'm like, no, it's not. Seeing after what they do, and I'm like, ooh, man, that looks expensive.
Well, I know one thing that's really cool about Mall of America specifically. I can't speak for. I don't know what the rates are for their hotel there, but I do know it's nice that you can actually get direct transportation from the airport to the mall, so you can just skip that step, you know, which is pretty cool.
I mean, now Mall of America is like a city within itself. Like I've seen it, and I've seen videos. People are like, no, you can literally live in there, and that's like there's a hotel inside there you can stay at. That's how crazy it is. I'm like, holy shit.
And Nick Universe is amazing too, the theme park inside.
Wow. Didn't even know they had one over there.
Yes, inside the center of Mall of America is Nick Universe. It's a Nickelodeon themed park. It's been themed differently in the past. At one point it was a Peanuts park, and it had a few other themes to it as well. But primarily now it's Nickelodeon, and they've recently even switched up, gotten some new attractions and stuff. But for the longest time, there were 2 Ninja Turtle attractions. There was a Jimmy Neutron attraction, a SpongeBob, like a ropes course, and a SpongeBob roller coaster. Some pretty cool stuff in there. It's just really neat because it's all indoors too. And so no matter what the weather's like in Minneapolis,
you're never going to have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike here, like Florida, it's like there's so many things to do too. It's like so many indoor and outdoor attractions. That's pretty cool. Like you can do, like it's never going to stop. You know, you can always go play and.
And you know, it reminds me of. I was watching video of Warner Brothers Movie World, Dubai. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, they just came out.
It's all indoors too. It's really.
They have
awesome.
like a Gotham section. They keep promoting it all over Facebook. It's like now you can like they did like I think they got like people that do parkour, and they had them playing the Joker and they had Batman, and they're like Joker and Harley Quinn were walking around and like they shot the whole thing indoors. It's all parkour. They did like kind of a welcome to Gotham, and I'm like that's pretty cool.
It's very detailed. Like they even have like there's a Flintstones section, a Looney Tunes section, and like because it's indoors, they were able to control the entire environment. So like Gotham's really dark, you know, and the streets are lit really nice, and the Looney Tunes area is really bright, and there's like a sky painted, and it's really cool. Like I imagine in Dubai, I'm not sure what the weather's like in Dubai, but it's pretty cool that they have a way to have a park that's 100% controllable.
Well, they have to because in Dubai, I have friends that are there right now for their wedding, their honeymoon, and they spent months. They had a 24-hour layover. They were riding quads the other day over in Dubai, and yeah, it's very, very hot. Think of Florida, but just on a higher scale of heat. You know, and everything has to be indoors. Everything has to be kind of controlled because the weather's unpredictable. It's either hot or humid, or it's like, you can't have guests, sweating their ass off, and all the makeup would come off too. So they're like, uh-oh. But it looks really, really badass. And I saw the videos on Facebook, and I'm like, this is really awesome. They're like, no, we're going back to like the 80s Tim Burton movie. It's like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, it looks very
They
inspired
went very
by that.
Tim Burton-y, yeah. They went.
And even the Looney Tunes, like there were characters I'd never seen in a park before represented. Like Wile E. Coyote, I saw in the video. I was like, wow, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it was like
Pretty fucking shocking.
one of my favorite Looney Tunes.
It's kind of like going Six Flags. Kind of, it's like, holy shit. You look at that and you're like, how in the hell? What was your opinion of the coffin sleeping thing that they did?
The what?
Did you see the...
Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. It seemed weird. Like, so if I understand correctly, you essentially, the way it ended up, you would have gotten paid $10 an hour to be in a coffin, right?
Pretty much.
I don't know. I mean, you could just work.
Each person would get
do something a bit more
$300,
productive. Yeah. I mean, if you want to sleep for 30 hours, cool.
I mean, a lot of them are just sitting in there reading books and watching the live stream.
Now, I was a little concerned. It did say it was gently used, so I have some questions.
Well, the coffins, when they looked at them, they weren't like they were custom built.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as it's not like
No, I'm thinking like what they're thinking is like, hey, I'm sure something was in here, but it was cleaned out. Obviously, the body was, these ones didn't look like that. They looked like they had 6 like cut them open and then put some fabric and stuff in them. They didn't look coffiny at all.
Yeah.
They had sponsored by Snickers, obviously, because they had a Snickers logo on them. Then you would just pull the thing up like this for your feet, and you would just you would lay there like this, or you just do whatever you want. You had a pillow behind your back, you were sitting like this. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like they were just sitting like this, but some guy was doing this.
I think didn't they say you get a bathroom break every once in a while?
You do. You got bathroom lunch.
Yeah.
So you got to go. But you can't legally. I mean, you can sit on your ass for 24 hours. Your body's gonna start hurting. That's why they, when you're in the hospital, guys, they all talk about bed sores, shit like that. Even when I was like in my surgery, they made me move every few minutes.
Yeah.
Like they're like, hey, it's time for you to get up for a little bit. You have to move. So
Yeah,
I had to get up and I had to walk around for a good about 15, 20 minutes. And then I got to go lay down again. But like every few minutes, I had to like roll my butt over, like roll on my side, because bed sores are no joke. Your body needs to move.
Right.
Because there's guys like gamers. I was telling my buddy Ernesto, who also Michael, was showing him like, I guess 10 gamers died from like certain gaming things. And one guy played I think not Fortnite, but one of these huge games for like I think 24 hours or 36 hours. And when he got up, he had a blood clot and he died. So I guess it went to his heart. He had a heart attack. He like got up and something happened. I don't know the whole thing, but it's like they shortened it. What happened? He sat down for so long that he had a clot, and because the blood could not flow. He was sitting on his butt so long. I was like, wow, that's pretty shocking. Like, yeah, it can happen.
That's why they say too, with long flights, it's important to try and move around a bit more. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, especially here, you got to keep your legs moving, let the blood flow. Because your body, once it loses circulation in some body parts, it's like, oops.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow. But yeah, like the video, I'll send it over to you too. Like a couple gamers that died. Like one guy gamed for like I think 24 hours or 36 hours. I think he died from a heart attack. Yeah. And he was like 30 something years old. I was like, wow. They're like just sitting on your ass for that one does not help. I think. Yeah, they got to get up, stretch around. They got to like move their bodies.
But yeah. I mean, my opinion on, I guess, I don't know. I mean, it's a fun gimmick. I kind of think for what it is, I feel like they should have maybe increased the cash price.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all the details, so maybe it's something anyone can do.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, cool. But
yeah, it's like $300, dude. The company, they don't want to pay that much money anyway.
Yeah.
You had $300 if it's not that much money, and then you got to make like a gimmick out of it.
I mean, ultimately, if someone wants to do it, then cool. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean,
power to you.
That's a pretty good work day. Good weekend. It's like, all right, but on the weekend, you guys can sit down and make some money. Put some live chats in there. You guys can talk.
Or if that's your thing, if you just want to be in a coffin,
Yeah.
Hey.
I've got a friend that actually has a coffin.
Yeah.
He's got it as his coffee table. Pretty interesting. It's like all his gaming stuff, and I'm like, I walk in, and he's like, oh, it's in a coffin. I'm like, what? Moves the thing over. It's literally a coffin. It's got all his games in there, his movies, and I'm like, that's creepy. I was like, where the hell did you get it? He was like, somebody was, selling it, and I wanted to buy it, but he ended up repurposing it, and it's got all this cool lights in it and shit. I was like, that's creepy. He's like, yeah, I'd say it's creepy, but it's cool as fuck. Hey, you hopefully slides open, and you're like, oh, there's my games, there's my movies, there's my controllers. and then like the top of it's like Little League coffee table. You would never know. It's really creepy. Really cool. It's almost about 5:30, guys. We're just kind of jamming. Anything else you want to talk about? Did we kind of touch everything, or?
I don't know. We've kind of gone over a lot.
Yeah,
So
it's just,
it's been a very long day.
yeah.
Very fun day.
We're both tired, but Dakota, got to meet Eddie for the first time. Got to win a little. He had a blast today.
Yes. Yeah.
You were like very stoked today.
Yeah, it
An
was
awesome
a fun
day.
day. It was very, very fun. Yeah, I'm a little tired, so like I'm not as like
Giddy and ready to get me.
like I wish I could be more like woo, but I really am happy. I had such a
Yeah, he had such a
an
freaking
amazing
blast.
day.
today. I mean, winning Rocket was like his big fucking thing. He was like, I'm winning this.
yeah. That was
I mean,
that
you
was a
spent like
surprise.
you spent $12 on the first thing, and you're like, should I?
yeah. I know. I was like, I mean, hey, I had to try, but that was-
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing that.
yeah. But it was a nice payoff because I mean in hindsight it was really funny because like $12 for what was it?
Three
so
three beanbags.
six hits,
And they weren't that
altogether.
heavy. They weren't that heavy. I was gonna jump
Yeah.
and throw one for him, but I was like, I don't know if I could. They would probably yell at me like, "You need to buy." I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But I don't even think the way you tossed them, because the beans weren't that heavy either.
I mean, they weren't. That's the thing is like, it was hard too because I'm not tall, but I'm not as short enough to be like at level with it. So it was very awkward too. The specific game I was playing,
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, I can't
Well, the way
imagine someone
the way
tall.
it's set up is just for you not to win.
Yeah, it was,
The angles aren't supposed to be perfect. You can't like get a because where it was on the road, like near the road. You couldn't get on the road because people were trying to walk past you, and then you got somebody walking past you trying to throw it really hard, get the right projectile. You can't, I mean, that's like I hear that all day long. And people are trying to win stuffed animals. Are like, I can't win. It's like, well, I wonder why. And they don't want you to win.
yeah. So definitely it was a very nice payoff having Rocket so easy to win. Well,
So, I mean, he was
not easy to win, but we got lucky.
So you spent like what $16 today, but you had fun.
Yeah, it was only. That's the other thing too is I don't remember the arcade machine. Like I only played the one claw machine, but honestly, it was like what $5 for 6 tries.
Yeah, I don't remember it being that expensive.
Really, that's actually really good. I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of universal.
Well, I mean,
claw
thinking
machines,
about it, it was like usually 50 cents for. Let's see, 50,
Yeah.
$1.
And it wasn't that bad of a machine. Like it was picking up too. Like it actually.
You get 7 plays.
yeah.
You get $5. Yeah, so it pretty much makes it.
Because nothing makes me. It's so frustrating when you go to a machine and it's like one of those where it goes down and just goes, and then barely holds on.
Yeah.
Like, this one was actually clipping. Like it was actually grabbing.
Yeah, they want you to win. I mean, if you take your time, and it gives you about 25 seconds per hit. So
I have so many questions
about.
the knight over there.
Shane probably just bought it.
Cool. I didn't know we sold those.
Probably didn't. Probably just brought it in himself.
Cool.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish my soda. I'm gonna relax. We've had a freaking great time. I'm about to get the hell out of here because it's almost 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's we've hit the hour where more Horror Night stuff going on over there. Have they closed the entrance over there yet?
Now we're getting ready to, I believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, fun talking to y'all. We're gonna pretty much edit this one, call it a week. Glad to have Dakota on for the second time immediately. Like we really wanted to get this weekend started, and like I said, the reason why we got over here is because he wanted to meet Eddie. He was dying. He was like, "I want to meet Eddie." So I'm like, "We can do this." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "We can meet. We can set up." So I'm glad I got to do it for you.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "You've never met?" Like, no, I've never met. Here's the story behind it. I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, what was that? 4 years almost I was there.
yeah, and so it's effed up that you never got a chance to, at least set up a time or date.
Yeah, and I never did. One of my regrets is I never did cross train. Like I was over at Horror Makeup a lot because we operated. We were one group, but
I don't know.
I never actually got cross
I got
trained.
picked for it immediately. Like they literally were like, "Oh, you're perfect."
I almost did. I almost did. They had one day where they were short people, and they were like, "Hey, Dakota, you want to be cross trained or makeup?" And I was like, "Sure." So I go get the costume. I came in. I wore the costume. I was there in the lobby. They were gonna get me quick trained, and then suddenly someone from Shrek was like, "Oh, I can do it." I'm like, "Okay."
So,
It was so close to happening. But,
yeah, I mean, it can happen.
Yep.
Good venue. It's a great place if you guys ever check it out. Definitely, it's not a sleeping show. Definitely check it out. There's good casts and bad casts.
Plus, it's a small theater too, so it's
really
nice
it's really
and-
intimate. It's fun, and you can tell when people are really enjoying the show. It's a really really fun show. Yeah, it's repeatable, but it's never the same show. There's different jokes every show. You don't know what's going to happen. You know the basic outline, but you don't know really how it's going to end up.
Also, it's honestly, I mean, if we're not counting ET, it's honestly the only attraction that
Yeah.
pays real legacy to Universal. Like
That building
it's
is
Universal.
Yeah, it's
you
Phantom
know?
of the Opera.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
It's
you go
as
through-
universal as it gets.
I literally walked through the back door, like there was a hidden door that I can't totally guess where it is, but I literally walked behind it and climbed up the elevator. Because the elevator's actually locked. If you hit a button, you can lift it up. And
Yeah.
this huge chandelier, if you look up, the chandelier actually would shake to tell you, hey, the show's about to begin, get ready. And the Phantom would come up the elevator, open the curtain, and then unwind himself with his cloak, and you'd see the Phantom of the Opera. It's like, what the hell? Somebody had an old video, and they're showing me it. I'm like, that's creepy that he would come up like that. He's covered up, and all of a sudden he opens his little cave, and he's like, the Phantom. You're like, oh, that shit's awesome. That's awesome. Universal, what did you do to yourself? What did you do?
Yeah, I will say I am glad that they are still, like with the merchandise we saw today and stuff, I'm glad that they are not abandoning their monsters, you know?
Yeah.
It's been rough, you know, we have the dark universe kind of fell off the map and
Oh yeah, because
it's-
they really put all their eggs in one basket.
but you know, they are trying. They're definitely trying to give the Universal Monsters a brand and a push. And
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of that new logo, you know, it's like they on their Facebook pages even, they've unified the logos. It's very like low profile kind of. They're really trying to pull things together, and I like it. I like that.
Yeah,
they're
I think what
doing it.
they need like a fucking Kevin Feige to come in and like listen, Universal needs their Kevin Feige, you know, from Disney. You know, they need that guy that's like, hey, I got you. Let me get this all squared away. We can get everything, our ducks in a row. It's kind of like what not the MCU, but the DCU is trying to frickin' start. They can't get their foot off the ground because they don't have a collective, mindset going, hey, we need to do this. But if Universal did that, like with the Dark Universe, they could get something off the ground, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, Universal, something they've got going for them is, you know, there's a lot of studios, a lot of movies, but Universal, I think it's pretty much undisputable that they founded horror. You know, they got the foundation started there. You know, I mean, you had a lot of movies, a lot of filmmakers would experiment with that kind of stuff, but they really kicked it off.
A good podcast that I listen to, and I recommend you all listen to, is called though You Must Remember This, and I forget the actual episode name, but look up Frankenstein's Monster. Like type that in. It's called You Must Remember This. That is the name of the podcast. It's amazing. They talk about Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi, and it's Karina Longwood who does the podcast. She's amazing. She edited it so well. It is about, I want to say, an 8-part series, but it's I recommend you listen to it too. It's so fucking good. And she talks about how Universal started the Monster Genre, how it all started, and then like how Bela Lugosi kind of fell off from that because he wouldn't work with Jack Pierce. Cause I guess him and Jack, I watched Hunter Punch, but he wouldn't work with Jack Pierce because I guess he wanted to do his own makeup. But I guess him and Boris like kind of fell off too. Because Boris, his career just kept going and going. He just found his way to do other things. But Bela was kind of like, became an alcoholic and did all these things. And they talk about, Universal as a whole, of like what their company was. And then they talk about, the son Carl Laemmle started Universal, but his son, Laemmle Jr., really, he's the one that gets credited to Universal Monsters, how it all took off. And I didn't know that. I thought it was Carl Laemmle. Carl Laemmle was like, no, we're going to start this Universal Monster thing and then work it out. But the son is credited for starting the Universal Monsters. So I highly, highly recommend you guys check out. It's called You Must Remember This. Look up Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff. It's kind of like versus Who, but it really collaborates well of what both these guys were doing, what their mindsets were going into the genre of Universal Monsters, what the legacy was for Boris and what the legacy was for Bela, and it was just like, oh my god. And Bela really fell off, like from the end of it, he fell off the fucking map. Like he ended up marrying a really young girl. I mean, she was kind of tired of his life. He was just crying, and he was just like, oh, he's so depressed. Like, look at me. I was handsome. I was gorgeous. Like, it's a really good listen. It's a really good understanding what Universal started to do of their monsters. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Because Universal monsters, they fell off the map too. They tried so many that you tried to Frankenstein, they fell off the map too. So like they literally hit, and then boom, downward spiral to the Universal monster. And that's what kind of Universal kind of lost their legacy in, of trying to get back. They're trying to find their foothold again. It's like, yeah, you have your hits, you can remake this classic and that classic, but the classic can never be redone. I mean, you have one spark magic there. You can do them in another guiding light, but some guys, they like the creature of the Black Lagoon, they like this. But even Wolfman, like talking to, when do you think Lon Chaney Jr. would take off from his father? They talked about him too, like he was garbage. He couldn't act. You know, it's pretty sad that his son couldn't really act. He was good at, okay, but he wasn't his father. And when the talkies came around, like Lon Chaney Jr. or Lon Chaney had a problem talking because nobody wanted to hear like his voice. His voice from what the character was completely different, which was shocking. It was really shocking, really good listen. But yeah, definitely check it out, guys. You must remember this. Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi. It's really, really good. I believe it's like an 8-part series, but I think you guys will really, really enjoy it. Yeah, I recommend you listen to it too. Yeah. I mean, if you like monsters and like Wolfman, you'll love it. Oh yeah, she really goes into detail. She has guys playing the voices. Like she hires other like, friends of hers to do like voices. They went and they did some of the parts of Boris and parts of it was great. Really, really good. They talk about Jack Pierce and talk about what the monster, what the makeup was all about. Yeah. Just shocking what Universal's mindset was back in that day of like, okay, let's do Wolfman. Well, we can get a guy that does this. Lon Chaney's son. He might be a great actor. No, it wasn't really that case. It kind of brings you kind of down because now you know how it's really done, and you're like, oh, all right. So they had hits, and then they had, flops. They're seeing what Universal's trying to do. I see what they're going with it, but they need to like stop and take a second, like, hey, let's try this. I mean, going with Tom Cruise is not a bad choice. I mean, I liked the movie. I thought it was great, and it was based off the original of the Boris Karloff. Instead of Boris being the mummy, Sophia Botella was the mummy. Tom Cruise was kind of this antiquity kind of, army guy, who gets, kid murdered, he's trying to become death, trying to stay alive. It was really good. Excuse me. I liked it. Mike liked it too. I thought Mike would not like it, but he watched it, and after it came out, he got it on, I think, Blu-ray or a Redbox or something. He was like, finally watched the movie. I'm like, oh, how was it? What do you think? He was like, actually, not bad.
I think the chainsaws are started up.
I think that's time to call it, guys. You can hear the chainsaws are firing up, and my lady's calling it, so it's a good time. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in.
If you don't hear from us, you know what happened.
Yeah, we pretty much got killed by chainsaws. Anyway, guys, keep an open mind. Try not to lose your head. Have a great week, guys. I'll talk to you later.